But what you wanna say? That's not straight. Gonna fall tomorrow, cause my friend said he'll take it home. Right, let's see if it recorded. Welcome to CFC Fan TV. We had a very interesting night over the bridge yesterday, didn't we? And all in all, I'm very pleased. It was all about the 3 points and we secured those. And now we are going into a run of fixtures that are pretty kind, at least on paper. So, all being well, we can mount a run and a charge towards the summit of the Premier League. I've got three big issues that I want to discuss with you. And what I'm going to ask you is, please do me a favour, comment, let me know what you think about these three things, because I want to see your opinion and try and gauge the general consensus of the Chelsea community. Right, here we go. Point one is David Luiz, and the question I want to ask you is his time at Chelsea up? His agent has been out and about suggesting that Real Madrid are sniffing around him, and I can actually see this move happening. He's out with favour at Chelsea. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because he's injured, but he's out for an unspecified amount of time. Generally, the club will release some information about any player's injury and give us some sort of a finite amount of time. You know, whether it's 3 weeks or 6 months, you generally know how long a player is injured for. With David Luiz, that information hasn't been forthcoming, and for me, it's a bit of a red flag. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. I think there's some issues behind the scenes, and it just doesn't seem to work with Conte. And once a player is out of favour with him, he generally won't let you back in. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that you have to have that sort of a hierarchy at Chelsea and at any football club. I think that you need a manager to be the top dog, and that is certainly what it is with Antonio Conte. So the question is it over for David Luiz? Does he get back in? I think, unfortunately for him, his demise has coincided with the incredible form of Andreas Christensen. Do you know that Andreas Christensen made 100% of his passes yesterday? That is an outrageous stat for a player. He saw a lot of the ball. He did brilliantly. I thought he looked after Boney very well, who is a handful. But more importantly than that, he looked after the ball so well. So once he's won possession, which he's fantastic at, he just doesn't give it away. He finds a Chelsea player every single time. And I mean, I don't want to sound cruel because I love David Luiz, but no one's missing him, are they? So it seems to be, you know, there does seem to be a whisper around the club and a suggestion that his time at Chelsea could be up. I think it would be a shame. I think that it's a squad game, and I think that we're going to need our best players to be in and around the first team. You know, we're going to be playing a lot of games if this season goes as we want it to. But if he were to leave, I don't think it's the end of the world that I would have said it was 6 months ago. So, let me know what you think about this one. Would you be sad to see David Luiz go? Or do you think that the time could be right? If Real Madrid came knocking and were prepared to offer a decent, sizable amount, would you take it? Point two is our formation. Now, I've been very, very impressed with the way that Conte has been so pragmatic. You know, he's rolled with the punches. Our squad has needed a bit of replenishment and needed some adjusting to play in a new system, and he has employed that system perfectly. He's got it playing very well at times, and it's looked good. However, there was a time yesterday when we were playing our old traditional 3-4-3 system, and it looked good. It looked comfortable. The players looked happy, and I am wondering now. I honestly don't know. You know, I thought that it worked well at times with Morata and Hazard being given a free run in behind him, but only having two forward-thinking players. Whereas when we had the three, whoever they are, you know, whether it's Pedro and Willian, ideally you'd have Hazard in there as well at the expense of one of those two with Morata's movement. I just think that the 3-4-3 looked better. But equally, I know that we have to evolve, and we can't keep going on a formation that treated us so well last year. It's a, you know, you have to keep it moving, keep evolving. So I actually don't know where I stand on this one. So I really do want your thoughts. Can you let me know in the comments? Do you think that we should revert to our old traditional 3-4-3, which served us so well last year, or do you like the new system? Do you think that the Hazard's free role, linking up with Morata, encouraging Fabregas to carry the ball slightly more forward and control the tempo of the game in a slightly more advanced role works? I don't know, but if I were to be forced, not that you'll do this to me, but if you were to force me to suggest one of these systems, I quite like the 3-4-3. I think the movement that's available to us in those wide positions, I think when Hazard is on fire, cutting in, when Pedro's doing his brilliant, wonderful things, you know, his dazzling form on the right-hand side, cutting in, Morata's holding up the ball so well, making runs in behind, I think it makes us a very dangerous proposition. So for me, the 3-4-3 works, but I do concede that the 1-1 also has a place. Let me know your thoughts. Point 3 is Victor Moses. I was so happy to see him back. I think we needed him. I think that when we signed Davide Zappacosta, I was really pleased that there was some competition available for Victor Moses' position because I felt like he needed it. But I may have been wrong there because Victor Moses is so essential to the way we play, and I am delighted to see him back in amongst the first team. You know, he had a bit of a shaky time when he came on, but he's been out for ages, and I'm sure that the minutes that he got under his belt yesterday will bode very well for him moving forward. But Zappacosta isn't playing very well at the moment. I think that's an understatement, actually. I think he's been poor. I think he looked very much... I think he looked out of his depth at Anfield, and I don't think that changed against Swansea. So we need Victor Moses back in the side, patrolling that right-hand side, covering so much ground, offering so much going forward while still doing a very resilient job at the back. And I'm really pleased to see him back. Is it too early for him to start against Newcastle? That's the question. Would you like to see him start against Newcastle? Do you think it should be him, or do you think Zappacosta needs to start again and allow Moses to find his feet? Comment below and let me know. Point 4. I know I said there's 3, but guess what? There's 4. I just want to quickly say Antonio Conte got sent off. I don't care. Let me know how you feel about this one. For me, it really doesn't matter. I love the passion that he shows on the touchline. It's like one of us standing there. It's basically like me or you being out there, and it's so nice to have a manager who we can really relate to. And crucially, it was a corner. What a ridiculous decision. So sending him off was harsh. It really doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. But I spoke to Sophie, and she thinks that we need him on the touchline at all times. So who do you agree with, Rory or Sophie? Right, that wraps it up. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, if you like this style of video, do me a favour, give it a like just so that we can monitor it, and we can do some more of these. And obviously, if you don't like it, you'll never see it again. Onwards now to Newcastle. We have to keep plugging away. You know, there is a long way to go in this title race. There are a lot of twists and turns to come. I concede that Manchester City look impenetrable, but we've said that in the past, so we have to keep plugging away because you never know what's around the corner.